guys, what's up? In this video we are going to be tackling the age-old debate in the Michael Jackson fan community. Which one is better, Thriller or Ghost? Stay tuned, I'm going to be sharing my opinion and you don't want to miss it. You are now watching MJFANGIRL TV.
Girl, you got to and touch the sky, you
Alright, so if you have not seen my face before, my name's MJFANGIRL. I make videos here on YouTube about Michael Jackson and the Michael Jackson community. So if you are interested in any of that, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell because, I mean, it just makes sense. Alright, so Thriller versus Ghost. Now I want to let you guys know that if you are following me on Instagram, thank you by the way for following me, but you might have seen that the other night I actually watched Ghost with a fellow Michael Jackson fan for the first time in years. Yes, I said it, years. Ghost was never something that was a big deal for me, and I know that that might sound really weird, but let me kind of explain the context. So I am an 80s baby. I grew up in the 80s, 90s mostly, but during the period of time of which I discovered Michael Jackson, it was in that late 90s period, but it was right after Ghost got released, and I feel like I kind of just went from the beginning to the end in terms of like how I discovered Michael Jackson's music and stuff. So like I really discovered him mostly from like the Jackson 5 and a lot of the Jackson stuff, a lot of Thriller era stuff. But I tended to go backwards instead of forwards, and in the late 90s and in the early 2000s, VH1 actually used to play Ghosts and like the making of Ghosts as like this big, I think it was like an hour-long special, and I taped it and I watched it a bunch of times, but it was never really something that I was like, oh my gosh, I like it. It was never something that I really even wanted. I like never felt like, oh, I want to watch Ghosts. So when I had the opportunity and I was kind of like, you know, alright, let's give it a try again. I am a big Thriller fan. I've talked about this on my channel before, but when I watched Ghost the other night, I had like a newfound appreciation for it, and I realized why a lot of people say that this is a better short film than Thriller. I didn't say that, but I know a lot of other people that. Don't shoot the messenger. Alright, so let's just compare and contrast kind of. I thought it'd be fun to talk about some of the differences, the storyline, the choreography, and everything. Let's get on into it. Alright, so first let's talk storyline. So the storyline for Thriller is quite interesting. It's really creative if you ask me. I love the fact that it basically starts off with a movie that Michael Jackson and Ola Ray are watching, basically of themselves, and then they leave the movie theater because Ola Ray's scared, and then they go off and get even more scared because Michael Jackson turns into a zombie with a million other zombies and pretty much chases Ola Ray until she wakes up and figures out that was a dream. Alright, storyline's pretty cool. I enjoyed that, but when we go to Ghosts, Ghosts is a lot more, I feel like Ghost is actually more simple at the same time as being more complex, because Ghost is sort of like art imitating life sort of thing. And it's really interesting because, you know, you have this older looking man, which a lot of people would say is Michael Jackson's version of Tom Sneddon, who that's supposed to be. And he's kind of like the ringleader there, and he's kind of like looking down on Michael or being like, you don't scare me or whatever, or calling him a freak and all this. And I thought that it was really interesting, but I felt like when I first watched it that it was pretty long and drawn out story. I always felt like, oh, I knew they could wrap this up in a shorter amount of time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of like more quiet, I won't say quiet moments, but there are a lot of moments in the Ghost video that don't really include Michael. Like there's a lot of like more slow moments in terms of the choreography and like scary things happening in Ghosts and Ghouls, and at the time that I first watched it I didn't really appreciate it, but now I kind of look at it as like a way that he's kind of building up to a certain emotion or like a certain drama. It's kind of like in the Smooth Criminal video where all the dancers are like kind of doing that freestyle kind of dance and making sounds, and the cat's on the piano. You guys probably know what part I'm talking about, but it reminds me of that. It's like more heightened drama and more heightened dancing and everything because you kind of like build up to it. So that's my thought on the Ghost storyline. Again, I'll go back to what I said in the beginning about Thriller. I felt like Thriller was a better, more creative story in my opinion, more entertaining story, but I feel like Ghost's storyline might be more like impactful because it's really like art imitating life. And next, let's go on to the choreography. I'm gonna tell you guys that nothing really made me understand how amazing the choreography for Thriller was, not even watching the making of Thriller or any of that. When I saw Thriller in 3D and I actually felt like I was on the street while they were doing that dance, I felt like, oh my goodness, this choreography was amazing and I had no idea. Like, it was seeing it with fresh eyes. So that choreography was very, very, I feel like it was very modern for its time. It doesn't get old. You still see people doing the Thriller dance and all that. So I feel like that's iconic. When it comes to Ghosts, the choreography, honestly, in my opinion, is some of the best choreography that I've ever seen from Michael Jackson or from anyone in a music video. I really, really love how powerful it is. And another thing that I really love about the choreography in Ghosts is, I mean, Michael Jackson was dancing in a fat suit and also as a skeleton, like, come on. By the way, shout out to anybody who was today years old and just realized that Michael Jackson was in a fat suit the whole time, because I just found that out like 2 years ago. Yeah. I really didn't know, you guys. Comment down below if you knew the whole time. I really had no clue that Michael Jackson was in that fat suit until I watched the, like, I don't know. I feel like on VH1, that part where he's actually getting made up as the guy in the you know, the older gentleman, I don't feel like that was included, or like they cut it off or something, because I did not get the memo that that was Michael Jackson in there. But now that I listen sometimes to the intonation of his voice and I see his eyes, I'm like, that's Michael, that's Michael. And in terms of impact, I think it's easy to say that Thriller really made a lot bigger of an impact than Ghost did. I know that Michael wished that Ghost had made the same type of impact, and I am excited to see what happens. I know that Ghost is not available right now on YouTube, so I'm hoping that the estate does some really big project and we can see Ghost through a new set of eyes. Comment down below which one is your favorite and why. Do you prefer Thriller? Do you prefer Ghost? I want to hear what you guys have to say. Comment down below. Make sure you thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.